What's going on, people? This is your boy Lou. This is Wrestling 2 101. This is going to be another good and the bad edition. This is number 3. This one's going to be on Smackdown, so I'll give you my thoughts. The good and the bad on WWE Smackdown that occurred on 10/14/2011. October 14th, whatever you want to call it. Alright, show kicks off with a battle royal, 40-man battle royal. Battle Royal. I'm not a fan of Battle Royals or Royal Rumbles. I hate multi-man matches that have so many men where there's really no wrestling. There's just a bunch of pounding, and you really can't, pay attention to everything that's going on. And there's not a camera on everything. It's really hard to follow. So I'm not a fan of these matches in general. This one was not particularly any good at all, in my opinion. I think Daniel Bryan was the first one eliminated. So so much for him being Money in the Bank. They should have kept him in there a little bit longer. He could have been like in the last 5 or something. I don't know. I'm just saying. Ultimately, of course, though, it's WWE and they love Randy Orton. Because he's their top star on SmackDown. So of course he wins this shit. There was a good showing by Mason Ryan. He eliminated a bunch of guys. He eliminated like 3 or 4 guys before he got eliminated. So that was pretty cool. So at least they let him look strong in there. So I guess I'll give him credit for that. That was good. But Randy Orton ultimately did win this, and he wins a World Heavyweight Championship match later on tonight, because that's what the winner got. So there you go. That was the first segment. It was a decent segment, considering that it did set up the main event for the night, and it wasn't just, Teddy Long coming out and making an announcement after 2 guys are arguing in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, that's definitely a positive for the show. But Randy Orton, come on. I know the WWE loves Randy Orton, but how many more chances is Randy Orton going to get at winning the World Heavyweight Championship before, there's other contenders like, I don't know, The Big Show, which was announced last Friday. Alright, now going into this match, you already knew because it was announced on the previous SmackDown that Big Show was going to face Mark Henry for the championship. So we all knew going into this match this was not going to happen. Randy Orton was not going to beat Mark Henry, so I don't know what the point of the match was. It didn't help either guy because it ended up ending in disqualification because Cody Rhodes interfered. And then at one point, the Big Show came down. And of course, Big Show decimates Mark Henry and all. It looks good in the end, which, somebody finally decimated over Mark Henry, which makes the Big Show look strong because all the people that hate him, because, the Big Show kind of took him out. So that gives, Big Show more of a pop from the crowd that gives him more of a push, So when they get to the match, he'll have the crowd behind him and whatnot. Ultimately, more than likely, he'll lose. He should lose. Mark Henry ultimately then should face Kane, where again, Kane should lose, and then Sheamus should ultimately go over Mark Henry. But we'll have to see how that pans out. But once again, there was no point in this match. I don't know why it existed. It shouldn't have been. It wasn't even really a good match. It was just one of those ground and pound matches that, ultimately we're going to get from Mark Henry. Most of the time you have to depend on the other guy that's facing Mark Henry to really make the match good. And let's face it, when Randy Orton's not going to win, he's not going to go out there and try to put on a show. And number 2, he's facing a guy that's 400 pounds, so what really can he do? So, yeah. Alright, people, the next thing I want to talk about is this tag match where apparently Evan Bourne is injured, kayfabe injured, so he's not in the match, and we have Kofi Kingston with Zack Ryder, fucking Zack Ryder, god damn it, versus Swagger and Ziggler. And if they're going to put this whole, Swagger-Ziggler team together and completely throw away the fact that Ziggler's the U.S. champion, he's not defending it in singles matches. If they're going to do this, okay, first of all, have them lose the damn belt. Number 2, have them win some goddamn matches. Once again, they lost. But at least this time, they lost due to Kofi Kingston cheating. And that's the thing I like about this match. Fuck the match. The match really wasn't all that great. But at the end of the match, after all the cheating and shit that, between, Ziggler and Swagger and, Vicky having the distractions outside, Kofi came in the ring and gave Trouble in Paradise to Jack Swagger, and then dumped Zack Ryder's limp body over Swagger, dove out of the ring. Ref comes for the count. 1, 2, 3, end the match. So I thought the ending was good. It showed a little bit of other side of Kofi Kingston. That he does have the ability to win a match by not beating the other team cleanly or the other person cleanly. So there you go. I thought that was pretty cool. The match itself was kind of random, considering, okay, Evan Bourne is quote unquote injured, okay, which I understand from Raw, but if he was injured, his tag team partner is Evan Bourne. Kofi Kingston's tag team partner is not Zack Ryder. I think they could have had this match at the pay-per-view for the championships. Maybe they could have had, Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger go over here, and you could have Ziggler have 2 titles, like they did with The Miz, and ultimately that might have helped them get that push, and they could have been feuding with Air Boom. Maybe at one point Air Boom could have won it back, and they could have kept going back and forth. At one point, you have Dolph Ziggler lose the U.S. title and the tag titles, but ultimately maybe go and win the Money in the Bank or something. I don't know. They did it with The Miz. It'd be a good idea here, but that's not going to happen. There was a Divas match, but I don't even want to talk about the damn Divas match. I'm so sick of the Divas division. It sucks so bad. They just go out there to look pretty. That even Beth Phoenix and Natalya are going out there now, not putting on much of a show. The WWE doesn't want them to do that. They just want them to go out there and just look pretty. It's so stupid. All right, I can watch other companies, and I'm not going to say TNA people, but there's other companies out there that actually put on good women's wrestling, like ROH. Okay, Chikara has good women's wrestling. Okay, I can name a bunch of companies where there's decent women's wrestling matches. Okay, but WWE cannot put on a women's wrestling match in a decent form if they tried. None of the matches have decent storylines. They don't make any sense. The same repelling shit over and over and over between the same divas. And it's not like they only have 2 or 3 divas in the whole division, 4 divas. There's 15 divas on the roster or something like that. There's a lot of divas on the roster. Why not use them? Why not actually have them trained to learn how to wrestle and actually put them on TV, let them wrestle? And for the divas that can't wrestle, why don't you just send them back to FCW or, have them go to some kind of training camp to learn how to wrestle? There's no point in having all these pretty faces on the show if they can't actually wrestle. And I'm sorry for all these people that push behind Kelly and Eve and all this bullshit, but I am saying this one last time. One last fucking time. Not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Actually, this is the one. One last time I'm saying this shit. Doing backflips and moonsaults and handsprings and elbows does not make you a fucking wrestler. And the last thing I want to talk about was the DX reunion. You had Shawn Michaels come back, and this wasn't even on TV because I watched it on YouTube. I seen it. And you have the reuniting of DX just for one night, and the crowd was completely dead. For God's sakes, come on. Texas, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. You got to see Shawn Michaels and you didn't even fucking give a pop. Fucking stupid, man. I heard the Can Michaels chants, for God's sakes. And you guys want WrestleMania. Now I'm fucking with shit, but still. You could have praised Shawn Michaels just a little bit. In replace of the DX reunion thing, we had a vault segment. Sad. And my bad, people. I forgot about one more match here. We had Sheamus go against Del Rio for what I don't understand. It ends up being Del Rio being the victor here. After we have Sheamus go to the top rope, and then the referee gets distracted with Del Rio, and then Christian comes up and throws out Sheamus's leg from under him. He gets his balls crushed on the top turnbuckle. Gets hit with a kick by Del Rio. 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 end of match. I don't know why he's facing Del Rio, other than helping further the Christian feud by him, losing due to Christian's outside interference. I guess it helped Del Rio in that sense. I mean, the match is kind of random in my opinion, but it did further the Sheamus Christian feud, so I'll give this segment credit. And the last thing, because I just forgot to talk about it, would be Sin Cara versus Sin Cara. Not Sin Cara. Sin Cara versus Sin Cara at the back, I should say, basically, because it was like them just beat the crap out of each other, and you had Hunico eventually dominate, and he took off Sin Cara's mask, took off his mask, put on Sin Cara's mask, the good Sin Cara being Mystico, and Hunico came out in Mystico's mask and took on Justin Gabriel and beat him, so there you go. The match itself was what it was. It just further helped Sin Cara versus Sin Cara feud and just buried Justin Gabriel, so I have no thoughts there.